I see your demons, I'm telling them it's on sight. I'm just playing, I don't fight, I do pray. I only go the way of Mr. Yahweh.
Well, it's funny because I think we've all talked about this, that there's obviously Cardone and there's Eric Thomas, but there's no Latino or Mexican really at the top right now for that like underserved community. But I was talking to somebody who was like, you know, whether it's me or somebody else, like what most of these companies are looking for is kind of what you're talking about. Somebody to go and talk to that Latino, since there's going to be like 1 in 4 workers is going to be Latino and by 2050 or something like that. They're looking for people to go and basically motivate them and inspire them to be great in this country. Because I guess there's a statistic that another one of my friends, she's I don't know, psychologist, but she gathers data about like Latinos and stuff. And she was saying, yeah, something like that. She does La Puente Institute. But she basically said that obviously the Anglo-American or the white person, right? They already kind of figured out how to become CEOs and stuff. And the difference between the other races is that African Americans to Latinos are hard workers, but they don't speak up. So like if you have an African American person and you're like, hey, I need you to do this, they're like, hell no, I'm not going to do that, blah, 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 and they'll speak up, right? Whereas Mexicans, they'll be like, yeah, I'll do it, but then they'll complain under their breath. Yeah. So there's stuff like that they say that we're like, we need to basically motivate that community to be able to like speak up so they can become better workers.
That's really interesting, man. Yeah, like when I think of like white people and like leadership and employee empowerment that probably got them there back in the day, like that's where like the John Maxwells of the world like really hit it, right? And I mean, hey dude, we got Ruben, we got Chris, we got Angel. Speak the fuck up and yeah, you gall, man. But that's really interesting, man, that like, yeah, Latinos are hard workers but don't speak up.
I agree with that.
But it's also like, so we're in the commercial cleaning industry, so we have a unique perspective because I also see a lot of badass Latino leaders in the commercial cleaning industry that are like, they're powerhouses. But yeah, they're also really reserved powerhouses too.
It's in the upbringing. Yeah, we're very much so taught to be very respectful.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. And what happened to Angel, bro?
And quiet, because when you come here illegally, the more noise you make, the more the chances they deport you or find you or sue you or. So you gotta like keep low, stay low, until you become legal. But by then you're already pre-programmed to stay quiet.
Yeah, I think besides that too, there's like another like dilemma or like I remember I was asking ChatGPT to give me something, call it like the opportunity cost paradox or something. But it's just like before there was a scarcity of information. So even if I wanted to open up my own business, I didn't have the information. I didn't know where to create an LLC. I didn't know how to do marketing. I didn't have social media to be able to get my message or my brand or my service, you know, in front of other people's eyes. Now we have that, and now it's the easiest time in history to be rich or to, you know, make as much money as you want. But it's also the time in history where we have the most distractions out of like, you know, like you have all the opportunity in front of you, but then you also have all this stuff pulling you away from the opportunity and keeping you just like in memes and funny videos.
Yeah,
and like,
totally.
I know. So it's like a philosophical question based on that right there. Do you think, because there is a lot of information, so and you hear people like Hormoz, like everybody just say like, if you just applied what I told you, you would make it. Great.
Yeah.
Do you think there's do you think because we have all that information that there's actual opportunity, or that you think because of the amount of influence that they have and their whole thing is to sell you the opportunity, that that is just more of an illusion than there is opportunity? Because now if we usually, like, I wonder if we use stats, how many people actually do have a profitable business, how many people do actually make money from their business. And I don't mean make money like $1,000. I mean like, everybody says they make all this money, but they actually like put the revenue as their income. That is not your income, right? Like, it takes a lot of hard work. So I'm just wondering, like, because we're in such an influencer community where all information, where I can YouTube how to get rich and I will get things.
Good info, yeah.
Yeah. Is there actual opportunity and proven statistic opportunity? Or do you think it's just an illusion of opportunity so that we can all just keep going to the next step, next big thing?
No, I think that there is, because I think in the future, you know, also we're talking about earlier with AI, we're also all going to go back to local, just because how the market is. Like, it's like scams are everywhere, from like the high ticket.
Yeah, we're gonna go back to in person.
Yeah, dude, like the sales training, the sales courses, the marketing courses, the solar, right? Like, we're gonna go back to like trusting like someone who we can interact with. And I think because of that, like, I mean, everyone's trying to be like a billionaire, but I think we would have a better world if there was just a majority of people who are having a small business, but making their living expenses and a little bit more. Because now you can't, like, that's why all the employees want to start businesses, because of inflation, right? Like, before you could be an employee and have a house and feed your family and, you know, do all this stuff. Now you can't. So, like, you don't have to, you know, I said, how far do you want to go? Not everyone has to be a Kobe or a Michael Jordan, but you could be, I don't know who plays next to Kobe, who helped them win a championship, right?
Nobody does.
Yeah.
You could be a Derek Fisher,
Yeah. But that guy
I don't
still
even know
won
who
a
that is.
championship, and he still made, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe millions, just playing his part in the game. So I think everyone's just going to play their part, you know, in their community. And, like, I think there's opportunity for everyone, right? Because there's
But
always...
is there opportunity for everybody to be anybody they want to be, or is there opportunity for everybody to just be part of the game?
No,
Like, be
there
there.
is.
Well, not everybody wants to be the captain, too. Like, not everybody has to be a captain, but you could be a good receiver. And, you know...
I just feel like we get influenced to, like, want to be that.
Well, yeah, but you got to think about it, right? Like, Hormozy can say, if you do what I do, you'll be rich, right? But then what he does is full of risk. So also, because, for example, we could all say, hey, let's save up some money and buy a duplex, right? What I have fears. What are your guys' fears? Like, just throw some out. Like, I buy a duplex right now, and I'm still living in my house. What are the fears?
Yeah, like, it doesn't rent out, and you have to pay out of pocket for the mortgage.
It does
Yeah.
rent out, and there's
Maintenance.
squatters,
Yeah.
and then there's maintenance,
Yeah.
and it's like, so it's like, yes, we can do it, but then fear stops a lot of us. You know what I mean? There's a lot of risks involved, and I think that's the part that what I really hate about, like, the people that are at the top. They're like, oh, this is easy, and it's like, no, give me what you were thinking when you were broke.
Yeah, totally.
Like, tell me what you actually were thinking that actually made you buy the property even though you thought it wasn't gonna rent. You know, I think Hormozy does a great job of that, where he's like, the story of how his business partner took $50K out of their account early on, and he's like, I had nothing, and then I really had to sell. I'm like, cool, I can live with that. You know what I mean? I can live with that, because then I think that I actually thought of that when I was like, I don't want a failed business. I want to actually just find the money. Like, if people can find the money, I can find the money. You know what I mean? But that's the hard part, is you have a lot of people that say, just do what I do. And it's like, bro, I can't go and acquire companies
Well, I
right now.
think-
You know what I mean? Like,
And just to be clear, I do think there's opportunity. I
Angel
know
the
there's
downer.
opportunity. I just wanted to throw
I think
that,
there's
because
opportunity
there's people
everywhere.
that say there isn't. There's people that are like, oh no, man, credit
Well,
market
it's
credit this, and
because-
it's like, no, you just.
I think it's because we're in a consumer economy.
Mhm.
Like, we're always consuming, and I'm not just talking like from a purchase standpoint, but we're consuming social media, content, information all day. And we're not in a leader economy. And when you're in a leader economy, you're the one building, you're the one putting it out there first. Like, you're actually doing less consumption. And when we're all consumers, or majority are consumers, it feels good to think that there's a way out there, but then to be disciplined and to act and to do. I agree with you so much, man. I think we would be in a much better spot. Like, we need the Elons, the Kobes of the world, but I'll be the first to tell you that I'm a fucking winner, but I'm not Kobe Bryant, and I'm good with that, right? But I'm still a winner.
Yeah.
And I would rather have 100,000 small, successful small businesses and the Apples of the world than 800 people trying to be Apple.
Yeah.
And I think we're off for a better world with that. But
It creates diversity, and diversity is beautiful.
but for us to switch that mentality, we have to do a better job with, like, our kids of, like, hey, less consumption and more leading, and how do you do that? And it's a really strange world to be in.
Yeah.
How old are your kids, man?
8 and 4. basically.
8 and 4, man. So, like, they're at this, like, age. I see it. I have a 7 and a 4-year-old,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, yo, if I allowed them, they'd be consuming all day
Yeah.
in every which way, like, more than we had access to, right?
Yeah.
Goes back to the access of information. And it's like, okay, so the one thing that Elliot did say that is good, like, do you want to give generational wealth or generational habits? No, like, fuck, man, I got to give generational habits to my 4-year-old right now, not to be a consumer. So one day he can hopefully learn from a Ruben, a Chris, an Angel, a John Maxwell to be a fucking leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because, like, not everybody wants to be a leader, but if you don't want to be a leader, you have to follow a good leader, right?
Yeah.
Like that's all.
Well said.
Like,
Well said, man.
That's all I
Be a
would
good
want if
leader,
I was
you
an
gotta learn to
employee.
follow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, most
exactly.
people are like, "Oh, I'm a leader." I'm like, "No, you're not." Who are your mentors? Who do you follow? What have you implemented that they've taught you? What? I don't know.
Yeah.
You can't even honor your father and your mother, but you call yourself a good leader.
Dude, and I think that's what, and I don't keep talking about it, but that's what's creating like some of the like scam culture right now. And not everybody's doing it intentionally. Some people just, they could sell, but they can't fulfill. But like where I'm from and you guys too, it's like a small town. So everybody knows your dad. Or like, you know, you go to Walmart or whatever and like he knows 1 out of 4 people there.
Yeah,
So like, especially back then, like, yeah, you had like a name to uphold, right? Because it's like, if you fuck up, like they're gonna know, oh, that's Luna's son, right? Like in my case, so like we have a image to stand up to, but like now, bro, like people don't respect their parents, and like it's crazy. Like it's like, how could you not? And then that's what also creates like, well, I don't care if people talk bad about me as long as they pay me, and if I fuck them over or whatever, like
They
I don't
like
care
me.
what they say. Yeah,
Yeah.
like so.
When I also think they don't respect their parents because a lot of parents try to be their friends and try to like they don't really earn. Not that you have to earn the respect as a parent, but you gotta stand in business.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like you gotta be like this is
That's
how
good
the
enough,
house
guys.
runs. I don't care how you feel. You know, like you're very good at it. You're also very good at them like feeling like they can speak their mind and stuff. But I've seen there's a line and there's rules in that household. You can tell, and they know how to follow them though. And they know when they're about to break them. It's funny being on the other side when you can tell like they just want to push the envelope and they're just like looking at James and they're like,
Well, it's like
Are you gonna
setting the
do it?
standards in the experience.
Yeah, totally. I also think though, like you bring up an interesting point, especially like being from a small place like you guys are from, dude. I think like in the Latino community, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like there's like this tradition of like we must uphold the family name,
Yeah.
or like, you know, the respect of our family. Like with all my Mexican friends growing up, dude, they all have fucking respect tattooed on their body. Like it was like, you know,
the
like
last name on the back.
you know what I'm saying? So like
Everybody thought about getting their last
like
name.
for me, dude, like I see the scam culture huge in like the white culture.
Yeah.
If I'm just being like,
Oh, yeah, I
real,
didn't want to
man.
say it, but I noticed
dude.
this like a few months ago.
No, dude, I'll drop it, man, because
Yeah.
it's real. Like if I go out there and fuck you over, man, like I don't got a relationship with my mom. Like I have to create the Harper name for me because that's important to me.
Yeah.
But dude, that wouldn't have cared. Like my mom and my dad, who long gone in their own rights, they wouldn't have cared. You're not gonna run into my mom at Walmart,
Yeah.
right? You're not gonna know who Jana's son is.
But how many parents actually care if their last name actually goes through?
Well, I think like
I don't
what you're
think
bringing
it's
up.
never a question you ask. Have you ever asked your dad like, "Hey brother, like, her dad, like, if you die and your generation dies five generations after, would you care? Do you actually care that the last name upholds or 2 generations?"
But see, that's
Most of them don't. It's just something that was like instilled in
Well,
us. For
I
some
think
reason.
it's a culture because even the movie Gladiator, you know, they say Maximus, son of whatever, you know, back then everybody say son of this
Yeah.
or son of that, you know, so it's like a culture that like it keeps people in check, I think, and like maybe that's what it was. That's why it developed. But I think like since you're saying like kind of like the white people, I think white people just lacked culture because they came here from the boats, like they lost everything. They were like fuck. No, like when they came from you know leaving
Yeah,
Britain
yeah.
because of taxes, and it was like a fresh new start. I think that's why the food's kind of bland too, right? Because they forgot the spices and all that.
I mean, listen, dude.
But-
the only thing that was created was freedom. So I mean,
yeah,
James, I have a serious question for you, and I know it seems like it's not, but I have a very serious question for you.
What's up, Profitable Cleaner listeners? Quick question for you. Are you using 5 to 7 different platforms just to manage the everyday operations of your commercial cleaning company? If so, let us help you consolidate that into one platform. Introducing you USource. Go to usource.com, book your free demo today, and actually get started on your trial for 60 days. No charge for 60 days, all from time and attendance to reporting, vendor management, operations, sales. It's time you stop using 5 to 7 platforms and consolidate into one. So listeners, don't forget, go to usource.com and start your account today.
What did you grow up eating? Like, cause for Mexicans, like I could be like enchiladas and all this stuff, right? Like, what did you grow up eating? That's like a
B&J's.
that's like a like my mom used to make
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
or,
Not
like,
even
funny.
hot Cheetos.
That's funny, man.
Cheetos? No.
So I'm probably like the wrong white. I'm probably like the wrong white person to ask.
Yeah.
I actually grew up eating like pinto beans and chili rellenos.
okay.
But like I have a really like
It's a really
yeah, totally, dude. Pinto beans was like the thing at my house,
I'm
man.
telling you, it's interesting.
And
'cause
like,
we need to know.
He was in the hood.
I know, but we need to know.
But the white thing that I grew up eating was biscuits and gravy.
Okay.
And like
So
like,
you still kind of eat that?
yeah,
like,
totally.
Like
man.
that brings back. Like,
Yeah,
childhood
totally. If
memories.
I eat biscuits and gravy, it
All
reminds
right,
me
what's
of
what's a
childhood.
food that you should love because you're white but you don't?
Meatloaf?
And
Is
I'm
that
gonna ask you
fair?
Meatloaf would be a fair one, but I
What?
probably
Is there
Like, he
serious
likes meatloaf.
questions?
no, dude. It depends who makes it. Dude. Like I don't even know what it's called, dude. It's so white, but like like they like put like it's almost like potato ham salad.
What?
Yeah, bro. Have you guys never seen this shit? Like, Vlad, like Google this, man. It's like literally like people put like potato salad and like chunks of ham in it, or like ham sandwiches, like ham and cheese. I'm like,
Oh,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
like I'll pass, man.
Yeah.
It might not be bad, but dude, it's like
Have salt.
Pastas?
Yeah.
Pastas at all? Like you grew up in pastas?
no.
Spaghetti?
Oh wait, yeah, I know.
I don't know, bro. It's just
Yeah.
like I've thought about it this a lot. Like, and I just
What
don't
white
know.
people eat?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, like,
I
like
mean,
what's the staple like thing that you would eat like
Dude, this
growing
what
up?
this
and-
what every white person feeds their
PB&J.
bro. It's mac and cheese, hot dogs, and PB and J. You're absolutely
that's what
right
I thought.
about
That's
that.
what I literally
and
thought
like,
it would be.
And Lay's potato chips.
Lays.
Like
Good. They're good.
yeah.
I'm just
But,
wondering what like the American
see, but, like,
cuisine is. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
it depends what you define as American, because white is not American. I think like no, it isn't, bro. There's
Yeah, I agree.
That's
I
what I
agree
was
with
saying,
you.
bro. They
Like,
came and it was
US
a start over. It's like
United
start
States is
fresh.
a melting
blank.
pot. It's a melting pot of everything, bro. Like they're more Mexican. Like sometimes there's more Mexican here than there is in Mexico. Like in other areas, bro. Like it's crazy.
I don't know about more than in Mexico.
Well, especially with the immigrants now, bro. There's a lot of people that are not Mexican.
Yeah.
in Mexico.
Yes.
Like it's
yeah.
we're all here.
Yeah.
A lot of us are here.
Yeah.
You know. But what's a Mexican food that you should love that you don't, or like
menudo. I hate menudo.
what? Okay.
Really?
Hey,
Menudo.
well, you know
Love
what?
menudo, bro.
Yeah, you know what this podcast is.
I think I want to do it solo.
Yeah. No, menudo.
regret this
I can't do. I like flesh, right? So like anything that's actual tissue,
Yeah.
I'm cool with. Anything that's like in organ or something, I'm like, you guys probably shouldn't be eating that, bro. You know what I mean? Like
should
you
eat
guys just kept
everything, bro.
venturing more and more
Man,
into
I love
the.
menudo.
You don't like menudo?
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you know, like Cecil's like the brain when they do like tacos of like the
Yeah,
cow's
yeah.
brain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like,
cow tongue.
why am I doing that? You know, no, but see, that's actual tissue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's a muscle.
I don't think I have.
Yeah, it's a
I don't
muscle.
think I have a food that I don't like.
No,
I just realized that I eat almost all Mexican food.
do you like all the Mexican
do
like
like
candies that are
I'm not
like?
big into like veggies and desserts, though, because I'm diabetic.
That's why I like.
Oh, okay. See, but yeah, you now I seem like a jerk. I'm like,
No,
how dare you? but-
Mexican food's the best, man. I was actually I was asked this question the other day as a white person. Would you rather move to Mexico for the rest of your life or Canada? And without a doubt, it would be Mexico. And
You'd rather go to
Well,
Canada?
one, I
Bro.
hate Canada, so no.
Oh, okay. I was
Well, I
like,
don't
wow.
hate Canada because I think they're very.
It's
liberal,
Drake,
so it's
absolutely.
very
I was kidding.
crazy.
listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
No, I mean, dude,
I
our
think-
Canada listeners agree, bro.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah, there's a lot going on over there that
Yeah,
I wouldn't agree
I
with.
heard. Yeah.
But also, I would love for you to travel to Mexico and try to live there for a month. I think that would
oh, I think it'd be hard as shit, bro.
Because if you go to the
and
tourist city of Mexico, then yeah. But if you're
Yeah,
like,
they didn't tell you that. You could
let's
go to
go
Puerto Peñasco. You could go. That's fine.
Bro,
yeah, like in that
if
sense,
if I were to go to Mexico, I would live in the heart of fucking Juarez, bro.
yeah,
that's-
see like
that's where-
280 deaths a month.
No.
Dude, but you know what? From what I've
like,
heard,
seriously,
no, I get
280
you. I get
That's a
you.
month. There's not a tourist city anymore.
No, I get you. But like, if I were to go live in Mexico, like I'm gonna go live in Mexico, and the reason I say Juarez is I know a lot of people from Juarez, starting with you, my Spanish teacher. Like I'm not talking about the bad shit that goes in like around Juarez. I know that's a very real thing, but I believe if you go there with the pure heart, good intentions, hopefully good shit works out for you. I believe that wherever you go.
There's
I mean,
there's
it's better
places
than
like Querétaro, which are super nice, and they're still like Mexico. You know what I mean?
To be honest with you,
I gotta
maybe
run
I'll
out
just
of
go to El
gas.
Paso.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, border Mexican cities usually have high violence rate because
I got run out of Piedras. I would live there for a week.
Yeah, I was hoping you would tell this story.
Yeah.
You got run out of where?
Of Piedras, so like the border with
Eagle
Pass.
Okay.
Yeah, it was cute. So like, we had
Potomac.
yeah. So we were like, okay, let's get a house in Piedras because it's way cheaper, right? We had, bro, it's so awesome. We had 2 maids. Also, so we're doing a blitz. So in solar, there's a blitz where you bring out a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go knock the
Yeah.
doors. But we're like, we had just rented a house in Piedras and we're gonna be living there. But since we brought all these guys, we had a good week. And then these guys are from Dallas, so they like going out at night, right? I'm more like a chill vibe, but we go out to a club. There's like 8 of us. People like ordered more bottles than they should. So it was like $6,000 tab, I think.
my God.
And in Piedras, that's like, that's like Dallas, right? But in Piedras, that's a lot. So the next night they go out again. I stayed in, but they spend like another 3,000 to 4,000 like at another club. And then we had a pool party on Sunday. So we had just a bunch of random people at the house. Yeah. And then on Monday, the next day, we were about to leave the house, and the maid had made us breakfast. We're like eating breakfast, and then she's like, I'm not coming back anymore. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, no, there's like a black truck that has already gone around the block 3 times, like taking pictures. They lowered the window and took pictures. They have no license plate. And they've gone around 3 times and taken pictures of like you guys outside and stuff. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, like I'm not coming back. And then like right after, like 10 minutes after, we're like, okay, whatever, let's go to Eagle Pass and, go knock and stuff.
Yeah.
My dad gets there, and somehow he got the receipt of one of the clubs. And because he was friends, in the small cities, everybody knows everybody, right? He was friends with the dad of the owner of the club. So like the owner told his dad, because he knew that that was his son. Then he told my dad, and then my dad came, and he's like, you guys spent $6,000. Like, he said that there's people that asked who you are, where you live, how much money you make, like why you're here. And like he said, like, you should like get the fuck out, like, because if not, they're not gonna like, you're not gonna make it till Friday, And then like the maid had just told us that too, and we're like, fuck, dude. We were 1 week, bro. It was our first week in that house. It just bought furniture, like, the blender and the juicer. The maid was making
Not the blender.
Not the blender. Yeah, bro. The juicer, bro. No, like,
It was a $10,000 juicer, man. You don't understand.
Like you couldn't take that with you?
yeah. Bro, I mean, we did. It just adds up, right? It was like $500 at Walmart one day with like, and dude, but the maid was making us fresh juice, like pineapple juice, orange juice, like everything fresh. Like, I would leave the gym and call her on my way out, and she would have breakfast for me when I got there, like guisado con huevitos y salsa fresca y todo el pedo. Like, we had it made out there. But that happened on Monday, like at like around noon, and we literally just packed up all our shit. And that's actually how I moved to Dallas. We went to Eagle Pass. We're there for the night, and then since my friends were from Dallas, or my business partners, they're like, come on, Chris, let's go to Dallas. Fuck Eagle Pass. It's small as shit anyway. Like, there's more opportunity over there. And literally at 11 p.m. that night, like, I was like, okay, fuck it, let's go. And we just
went to Dallas.
Yeah, popped some Adderall and just drove all the way to 7 a.m., 8 a.m., made it to Dallas, and, now I live here. Yeah. But that's the issue with Mexico. Like, you just can't be flashy, right? Because these guys are being flashy.
Yeah, like, my dad has money, but he's like, his whole goal is to have he's like, I would love a Rolex. And he can afford a nice car. And he's like, I just can't be comfortable down there because it crosses every day. So he's like, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Now,
one of my business
if I had to choose between Mexico and Canada, I would still pick Mexico, 100%. If you pick Canada, you have
Dude, besides that, everything else, dude, like, we had 2 maids, a breakfast, like, makes the beds, makes you coffee.
Yeah, very affordable.
Like, bro, it was... Oh, actually, next year, my girlfriend and I have already pretty much 90% decided we're going to move to Colombia once our, like, lease is up here. Because their family's over there. And it's just also way more affordable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And since we just work remote anyway, we're just going to
might as well
go over there.
That's what I would do. I would live out.
Yeah, dude. I think the new American dream is living outside of the U.S. and making
U.S. money.
Yeah.
Would that be considered the American dream, or that would just be the dream?
I don't know.
Like
I think that's a good dream, but I also know that there's a fuck ton of people trying to get here for a reason.
Yeah. I think the American dream is dead, bro. With how house prices are.
No, bro. No.
Yeah.
No, I still have it.
Yeah, I would.
But I think we're, again, depends what we're considered the American dream,
exactly.
because
How you define
what would you consider the American dream?
Yeah, dude. I mean, opportunity everywhere. You could come here and just get a job. You can't go. You go to Mexico and try to get a job without knowing digital marketing, without knowing how to work virtually, like actually living off the country.
That's why if you had the opportunity from here, but with living expenses from
totally. I think that's like a nomadic dream. I don't think that's the American.
Yeah,
I think that's just a digital creators, a nomadic lifestyle. But like the American dream, bro, like we most people will not know how to make money from their computer, whether we like it or not, whether we think it's common. It's not common. We just run in those circles.
Yeah.
But for people to make them, bro, like, it's very hard. A lot of people are still in office. But what I like about here is you can come here, get your work visa, and you can rock and roll. Is it going to be expensive? Of course. It's going to be hard. 100%. But if you work hard enough, can you have electricity? 1,000%. Bro, there's places.
You guys need solar.
There's places that don't have there's places that don't have electricity, bro.
Yeah. That's why they're all coming from
There's
Venezuela.
places that there's no AC unit. Like, they don't understand what AC is. I've had people come to the US young and they're like, AC, what do you mean?
Yeah. In Colombia, they don't like have AC. They have like one mini split.
You have your window open.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, that's it. That's
totally.
what, ahí viene el airecito. And so, like, but like, there's no Walmarts and Sprouts and Whole Foods, and there's no this, and there's not even options for food sometimes. Like, you just get whatever's there, and that's it. That's what you buy. So,
Well, I mean,
what
that's
I
like,
mean.
you're
It's
talking about a
the-
very specific location. Because anywhere in Mexico, it's like the food's way fresher. You know, it's better,
I'll-
more
I'll-
nutritious.
I'll say this, man. So
It
being
depends
in,
where you are. I
But I'm
guess.
saying, living off the country, I think the American dream is being able to establish yourself here, living off of it. No one moves out of the U.S. to establish themselves outside and depend on that country. They move out because they have something established here, and they just get to pay less down there.
yeah,
You know what's funny? I've never
think-
realized how American I am until like this conversation, because you guys are like American dream, and I'm like, I believe the American dream is like Henry Ford. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
building the
totally.
car here, you know, and
Yeah,
like Elon
totally.
Musk making the jets or the rockets here, you know, like. I feel like that's the American dream of like,
Well, like
the
that's
American.
your American dream.
No, it is, but it isn't because the American pride, I think, comes from like we built stuff that no one else did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like we had Henry Ford, we had Muhammad Ali, like we had Elon Musk. Now we came up with Amazon, right? Like that's, to me, that's the American dream. That's, I think, why I want to reach so high, because like I want to be one of those like people that like pushes.
What would
the
your
dream
granddad say that the American dream is? He was in war. Did he go to war? Am I imagining?
no, he didn't go to
No,
war.
your parent, your
Yeah,
dad
my
went to war.
my father.
But
did.
what would your?
You
I
know?
feel like your grandpa's seen a lot. What would your grandpa say the American dream is?
I actually asked him this. I think he would say freedom and opportunity.
Right.
So like when I think of like the American dream, I view it a little bit differently. I guess I am American as fuck. At the end of the day.
We all are.
We're all
Yeah.
starting to pull our little flag out. I know, we're like,
No,
Bro, I'm American.
no, like when you
I'm
think
Tex-Mex.
listen, like when you think of the American dream, and I don't think of it as like white people. I actually think the American dream was built from immigrants, and we're in commercial cleaning. If you look across like this industry, dude, you see the American dream in commercial cleaning across the board. Babco services from Colombia, didn't know a word of English 20 years ago, doing 25 million with 600 employees. Like, dude, that's the fucking American dream.
yeah.
But dude, this country is only like 278 years old or whatever it is, right? Like, so like this country, like, dude, literally Texas is a little bit different, but like 280 years ago, this was not, quote unquote, the United States. And it was fucking Comanches and Spaniards and Mexicans fighting over this land. And they created, the U.S. created a global economy that was basically like, hey, we're going to put the people first, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, go get it.
Freedom.
And guess what happened? It was the most peaceful economy. We can talk about slavery. We can talk about the Civil War.
If Biden wins, bro.
Talk about
that's
whatever.
what it's dead.
Talk about whatever you want. It's still the most peaceful economy that's ever been built in the fastest amount of time. That's produced the most amount of money with the most entrepreneurs and the freest society the history of the world has ever seen.
Yeah, bro.
Well,
people
free
still
depends-
don't think but people still think we're not free here, bro.
It's the most amount of debt on the world too.
No,
Yeah,
there's hold on.
Yeah, you're right.
There's this book. The Everybody Lies. Okay, just because this is the book that I'm on right now, but it's talking about kind of what you're talking about, how everybody believes that we're divided right now. But they were saying that they were looking at the like linguistics of how people used to talk about the United States, and before, when they used to talk about how divided the United States were, they would say the United States are divided, and now they say the United States is divided. And it's like a small
Wait,
little
say it
thing.
again?
They used to say the United States are divided. Like right now, if it's like, are we divided?
okay.
You're like, yeah, the United States is divided. That's what we would say it. But before they would say they are divided.
That's interesting.
Versus are like individual states
Yeah,
versus is as a collective, just left and right.
And I think it's just because like we've lost our identity as a whole, you know.
I don't know,
like in the United States.
Hey, dude, well, everyone would have said that too, and then 9/11 happens, and then fucking there's American flags, and like people chanting USA at every ball games. Like, it goes back to something you said earlier.
Over 23 years ago.
No, I agree, but dude, 23 years in the scheme of history is like yesterday. But you said it earlier,
Not with
man.
Technology, right?
But you said it earlier, like what
advancements.
societies change when they're on the brink of death, right? So like, dude, tragedy strikes, dude, and freaking something happens here tomorrow. Like, and dude, you're in the fucking great state of Texas. Everyone,
This is the best state
dude, it is
US.
1000% the best state, in my opinion. But dude, like something bad happens here, as like take a September 11th again. Dude, it doesn't matter if you're Latino, if you're black, or if you're white. All of a sudden, it's like, dude, if it's us against the world, it's fucking us.
Yeah.
Y'all can go to hell. We'll go to Texas.
No, but
Like
I agree with that. I agree with that. I don't think. I think again back to like because everything is so visible, there's so much misinformation being passed around, and the best way to divide a country is misinformation.
Yeah.
The best way to divide people is misinformation, bro. Like,
He said you were fat.
I'm a. What?
Just kidding. I'm like, he said you were fat.
I mean,
I was like, he did?
No, it's like then they'll start
like
fighting.
you just created chaos, bro.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No, but like for example, like a big thing you can like in this misinformation because I'm Catholic. Like when people thought the Pope said that he blesses gay marriage, everybody came at me. See, I told you. Oh my God, look at this, and I'm like, bro, you looked at a headline, and now you believe everything that you
happened
see.
to Logan Paul with his Prime thing. I don't know if you guys saw it, like but
Yeah,
did you see the whole Prime thing and how it had like chemicals and PFAS and all this other stuff?
Yeah.
It was all fake.
Well, dude, I
It was
believe that.
legit all fake. And he
Really?
calls out the guy, and the guy goes, "Oh, I'm not gonna." He goes, "You have 3 days." or
Wasn't
I'm
it
gonna
Ryan
sue you."
Garcia?
No. Ryan, like he kept going
Listen
on
to
about
that
it.
guy, and then everybody heard him.
Yeah.
The guy went on TikTok and he said it, and then that went onto the news, and then they believed it, and then Logan Paul came up and he's like, "Here's the test, here's the study, here's the proof." He's like, "You have 3 days to take it down and apologize, or I'm suing you." Up until the third day, the guy was like, "No, you're a liar," blah blah. On the third day, the guy takes it down and apologizes.
Hey, what's up, guys? Today's episode is brought to you by Cinch. If you're ready to take your commercial cleaning business to the next level, we have you covered. Maybe you're struggling with how to bid, how to create professional-looking proposals, or just how to ensure your customers' accounts are actually being cleaned at night. Introducing Cinch Janitorial Software. Cinch is a simple, user-friendly software that eliminates these types of struggles that you probably know all too well. Cinch simplifies your entire process and will supercharge your success because they remove paperwork headaches while creating a scalable, efficient, and profitable cleaning business. Get your free demo of Cinch at cleancinch.com. They're here to turn your business into a success story. That's cleancinch, CINCH.com. It's simple, it's Cinch.
But
Damn.
same thing.
But what did the
It's
Pope
just-
say? Because I'm curious too. Because I don't know
Well,
what.
they said that. Well, and they interviewed him in 60 Minutes, and the girl, she was like, "Oh, we call you the People's Pope because you're more flexible. Like you blessed gay marriage." And then he's like, "No. Like it's like a very cool part of the interview because you would think he would say yes. He's like, "No, you can't do that. That goes against God. That goes against the Bible. That goes against the church." What I said was, we can give them blessings individually because the blessing is for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, no, I can't bless you because you're trans or because you're gay. Who am I to say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you an individual blessing.
Yeah.
I cannot bless the union. So people, when he said that, people were like, oh, he blesses gay marriage.
That's an important difference.
Boom, 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 boom. Starts promoting it. People
Yeah.
get crazy. It's like, but that's how you do it with everybody. Like right now, bro.
It's more like don't hate on them.
right now,
okay.
bro. It's,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
You got.
Exactly.
Come on,
Like
you
they
can come
don't-
to mass.
Yeah,
You can take the Eucharist.
Yeah.
Who are we to say no?
Yeah.
Right, but like the whole point of this is like misinformation, bro, gets spread out so quickly,
Yeah.
right? Like somebody just heard you say on the podcast that Ruben's fat, and they put pause on the podcast. They went to go look at Ruben. They forgot
No,
to.
they're like he's a hater. It comes out in the
They forgot to
He's a
listen. Yeah, they
He's a
forgot to
Ruben hater,
listen
yeah.
that you
Chris, this
weren't
is
actually
Ruben.
fat, and so now they're gonna be like, dude, there's this podcast guest. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Dude, but Chris, to your point, man, I do think the American dream has been tainted a little bit, especially like the last 25 years. Misinformation, especially like the last 5 years, has been huge into that.
Well, I think that, and then with inflation and debt.
Well,
all
of
time
course,
high.
but those,
Yeah, that's part
but
of it. That's
inflation, but
economy.
dude,
That's
inflation and
part
debt
of
have
it.
always been there,
Regresa.
dude. Like my great grandparents lived in the Great Depression. They would fucking laugh at us in these times right now. Like,
well, 17%. What was it? 15 or 17% for a house loan of 100,000 in the 70s or something like that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like
they still have property, right?
But like that's just economics. But like when you look at the grand scheme of things, like what I worry about now and the American dream in 50 years is like our children being fed misinformation on what the American dream is. And it's like, dude, the American dream is like what I believe is what I just said, but it's like out there like, oh, the American dream's dying, or the American dream's fucking racist, or the like, and it's like actually like it's none of that. So like it's us to give it to the next generation, which today has happened.
And I think what worries me personally, well, I don't know about worry, but yeah, what like the big points to me is like back then, you're going through a recession or whatever. They didn't even have virtual jobs, so they're like, shoot, there's no work and I can't work.
I can't go to the railroad.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh no. But the difference, I think, I don't know how to study history a little bit more, would be like, but there was still almost like this moral compass and these traditions that were still upheld, like, well, we're going to stick as a family. Oh, we're still this. Right now, bro, people have skewed freedom of speech. I saw this video, bro. I don't know if you saw it. I'm pretty sure PBD posted it, where they do Veterans Day. Yeah. And the veteran is, dude, he's still alive. Like, he is good. Like, he's walking. And this trans girl has a sign that says, I'm also a veteran. Because she identifies that she's also a veteran, but like veteran of being part of this country. And this homie's like, yo, give me a gun, like I'll shoot him. I'm like, okay, well, you gotta chill out. But it's like,
I'm gonna die in like 5 days
anyway. But that's what scares me is like there's no tradition. Most people can't even answer what's a man and what's a woman. Yeah. The fact that that's even a question of argument trips me out. Yeah. And so that's what worries me. What worries me is it's misinformation on tradition and like misinformation on truth. Yeah. And there is certain truths, and they're like gender identity. I'm not talking just about that, but it's like when you go to a veteran, bro, and you say, I'm also a veteran, I served this country more than you did. Yeah. That's when I'm like, okay, now you're tainting the American dream and what freedom is, because he fought for your freedom.
It's just freedom of speech. Yeah, no, yeah, but you're right. See, but that's the thing is like, because if we always think that it's bad, and we have to kind of look back, right? Because like, for example, even when the war in Ukraine and all this stuff in Russia, and I can't imagine how terrible it must have been to live during like the Cold War. Yeah. Where you think that you're gonna get nuked every day, right? And then try to work, and then try to like be emotionally stable. You have to go to work to do stuff. Yeah, you have to go to work, and that lasted for what, 4 or 8 years or something like that. Just thinking daily you're gonna get nuked, you know? And so that's the hard part. Is like, yes, we're living like in a weird time, but is it still a better time than like the 70s?
Bro, we have access to air.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, is our country really as weak as we make it out to be, or is it just because of the fact that we see those things? You know what I mean?
One of our friends, he's a Marine. He's gonna be in this podcast. He's an economist and a Marine, and he used to be a general. And he's like, dude, I used to get sent to crazy stuff. Yeah. And shout out to Rafael. And then he's like, I don't think people really, from your point, you can't really understand how powerful and how strategic the U.S. is. Sure, can presidency be bad? Can inflation be high? We'll never lose the power of superpower. He's like, I don't think people understand what's happening in the background that we don't get to see. We only get fed whatever has to keep the multitude or the everyday people entertained. There's shit happen in the background, bro, that we don't know. The chances of us ever not having electricity or not have, bro, we have access to everything we want.
Yeah, I was talking to this guy that's I think he's like getting close to 80. And we were talking about like global warming, because this was like 4 or 5 years ago, and something was going on. But like, remember that year where like summer came in like, I think September or October, like it was like really weird. It was like right towards the end. Yeah. And I was like talking to him, and I was like, yeah, dude, global warming, like it's like the ice caps and they're melting. And he goes, yeah, he's like, most of you guys are too young. He's like, but when I was like 20, he's like, the exact same thing was happening. He's like, he's like, the things change and seasons pass and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, it's all normal. He's like, they try to blow it out of proportion. He's like, but when you're old, he's like, you don't worry about this stuff because you already lived through it. He's like, but most people that are like 40, 50, 60, like they're the ones that are like start worrying. He's like, but this is all normal. So it's just weird that like there's certain things that we just don't see because we're not old enough. And old people are like, oh, back in the 70s, these are the new hippies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And we've lost. I do believe that we've lost touch like with history. I guess.
History, right?
I'll share my final thoughts on this topic here, man. We have a a buddy who's a former Green Beret, Army Ranger, and Special Forces, really decorated war veteran. He's like, let me tell you the fucking difference between the United States and almost everyone out there. He's like, we went in to do a mission to kill a terrorist, and we had a lot of people in this house, like 30 people in one house, like 18 of them were women and children. We had the authority to kill anyone in that house, no questions asked. We went in there, we killed every male, and we killed our target. But when the target was killed, his 2-year-old son was right next to him. We picked up that 2-year-old son and we handed it to his wife, who just lost a husband, by the way. And the only reason why she lost a husband is because we were born in 2 different countries with 2 different beliefs. But we had to get the hell out of there. We were all going to die. And he goes, we spent an extra 37 minutes there, making sure every child and every mom had a water bottle, and they were together. Although all the dads had just been assassinated by us, right? But they were the bad guys. And he's like, the difference is, man, if those people would have knocked on our door on U.S. soil, they'd fucking decapitate you and everyone in the house. So he's like, let it be known that the U.S. are good guys because we did the good thing. We made sure that those women and children were alive and together before we left. Although we had to kill along the way, he's like, roles reversed, all of us would have been dead. And I was like, he's like, so even in war, the U.S., we can talk about different situations and instances in history. He's like, but from an overall historical pattern in war, we've always done the right thing. And I was like, okay, enough said. So I just think, dude, we lose touch with history and what actually happens. There's people.
And how do we get out of it?
Yeah. I don't
cycles. What's that book? There's a book. They say dude, it's
it's
Ray
called-
Dalio? No.
It's called Brand Sharks by Ruben.
Yeah, it's called Brand Sharks.
No, it just talks about how everything is just.
Principles by Ray Dalio.
Dude, Principles
talk about cycle.
Yeah.
Principles is good.
If it's
man.
that one, it might be.
I think it's too long, man. He should have gave us Principles
yeah.
Part 1 and Part
Dude, that
2.
thing is a beast of a
Yeah,
book.
I
I
man.
only listened to half of it.
I
Yeah,
did
me
Audible
too.
and
Dude, I think I
3
only
months.
got a quarter of the way through it.
And the how much time have we run? I don't even know.
I think we're getting close to 4. Yeah.
Huh?
We got 10.
1 hour 20.
Okay, cool. We're literally about to.
Yeah.
Yo,
The next podcast that sets is 5 minutes late.
we have another guest.
Yeah. You have one more after.
It's a virtual.
Yes.
Who do we have? Sorry about that.
No mama's way.
I
Who? Como?
kind of want to cancel all the virtual and just do them from the house or something.
Who is it?
Yeah, it's marketing.
You're cutting this off.
Yeah.
Love it.
You're
Well, I mean,
Right,
going back to the
we
U.S., I don't know. I think it's U.S. has always had the intelligence.
Wait, hold on. Let's. We're starting back again.
Yeah. Going back to kind of U.S. and the wars and stuff, I think the U.S. has always had the intelligence, and intelligence is power, right? If you're wise and all your decisions are made thinking of 7 generations down, and you only eat from your land, you make sure it grows back. But I'm over here making tools, to make sure I could kill the next person, right? I'm gonna beat you every single time, right? And just because I win doesn't mean that I was right? It just means that I won. So I think that's kind of what the U.S. has been.
Yeah, that's
I
a
think-
good point.
Yeah, I think now that I don't know what's gonna happen, but that the Saudi don't have to only trade in the dollar, and now they're trading in
Yeah.
Russia and
Yeah.
the yen. That's gonna have an effect on the U.S. on the superpower, and just because we can beat up the other guys doesn't mean that we're always beating them up for the right choices.
No doubt. I mean, listen, the U.S. could flex their muscle a lot, and some might say that we do, and we probably flex it more economically.
But they're also having a lot of trouble recruiting right now.
No, 100%. No, dude,
military.
the U.S. is flawed. Don't get me wrong. But if you look at any global powerhouse across the world, they're all flawed. China's fucking birth rate is dropping at the most alarming rate possible, right? Russia is in a freaking world of fucking scare with what they entered with Ukraine and NATO. Like, and the U.S. has its flaws, but if you want me to put my money down and call me biased, call me American as fuck, go ahead. I will bet my fucking life on this country.
See,
That it's gonna win or that it's gonna make the right choices?
Both.
Yeah. I would love.
Can you win and make wrong choices? I don't know about that.
Yeah, no,
No, because you won. It depends how you're looking at it.
Yeah, exactly. But here's what I would love to know though, because I feel that one of the biggest issues, and people are gonna hate it, but like Trump, as good as president he is economically, he's bad for the nation as a division thing, right? I would love to see who.
I mean,
has been huh?
Although Biden's pretty divided.
No. But that's the thing is, that's what I'm saying. I would love to talk with somebody who has been through maybe like 10 presidents, right, or like 20 presidents, to know how bad our current situation is. Because we have because we need a good leader. And as much as like what I'm saying is, if Trump could be an Obama in the way that he gave people hope and united the nation, even though he sucked at the end and everybody realized how bad he was, but everybody like loved and chanted as a nation, right? Like we were bleeding USA back in that time.
Yeah.
For the first 4 years.
Yeah.
Like how bad is it that we have this division? Because if we go back and they're like, you know what, JFK was equally as bad as both of these guys, even though they made it seem like it was great. They'll be like, oh, cool. Our nation's actually not that messed up right now. Like this is actually pretty normal. But I think that it's that we see like, okay, one of them is great for the economy, but we're going to have division because we're going to have all the left side of people who are going to hate him, and then we're going to have the right side of people who love him. And then the other person sucks entirely. You know what I mean? So it's like, which one's the better of the two evils? Maybe it's not that evil. Honestly, maybe it's not that evil. Maybe it's like it's the situation we were in like 20 years ago. We didn't even know.
Perspective, man.
Like Bush. I don't know how bad Bush was. People say she wasn't that great. I don't know.
Right.
I
good
think
perspective.
I don't know.
Whichever.
Yeah, neither do I.
And it's for like any country, and that's what like Daniel Schmachtenberger talks about a lot, is like civilizations. How, you know, it's all cycled back, and all of them have imploded, right, and pretty much ended, because we're doing the same things that we're all doing before: the Roman Empire, the Chinese,
no doubt.
stuff. So like, what he talks about is that no current leader or superpower nation has the capability to kind of get us to the next stage of like evolution, right? We're talking about evolution, and evolution only happens when, even like in Pokemon or like Dragon Ball Z, right? When Goku's like almost about to die, that's when he goes into the next Super Saiyan phase, right? And like that's what kind of has to happen with humanity. We have to kind of be at the brink of extinction, and then that's when, I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know if it's dark or what, but like the 0.1% is what survives and what becomes stronger than what all others weren't, right? So it's like the germ that survives when the 99.9% of Germ-X kills it, the 0.1 is now immune to that Germ-X, right? So now it can't be destroyed by like the same chemical that destroyed it. And it happens with bacteria, with humans, with animals, with every single living creature like in existence. It's like we have to go to the brink of extinction and then kind of come out. But the whole point is to like avoid that and to not get ourselves to the brink of extinction and be able to consciously evolve.
But it depends what you define as brink of extinction, because that's just such a big word.
Yeah. Well, there's been 6 extinctions already, right? Like before.
Well, okay, speaking on that, I don't know how much you want to get
Like
into this.
full disappearance of human.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So in the Bible.
Well, they
right?
weren't always humans. So
Let's talk about the
eukaryotes.
Talk about the Bible real quick, right? Remember that statue that's in I think it's in Revelation, where it talks about the head and then the arms made of brass and then the legs made of copper and then the feet are made of like that weird stuff. Do you know that?
I know Revelations, but
Okay. Well, anyway, there's this statue. Look it up. Anybody who's watching is probably gonna be like, they're gonna correct me a little bit, but there's this statue, and there's like 7 pieces to the statue, and supposedly like the top part is whatever the first great civilization, it might have been like Rome or whatever, right? And then it turned into like a different one. They're saying like we're like at the bottom part of the statue, which is like basically the mix, which is like really, really like unstable, right? Because it's like a lot of metals that basically easily crumble. And if you read the interpretation, everybody has come to a conclusion that we're in we just passed the British one, which was like the British Empire, and that we're like in the American one, and that's the last one to crumble.
And it's the first global civilization. No other civilization.
Yeah.
Like the
That's why
U.S.
it's
cannot stand
connected.
alone. No country can stand by itself.
Yeah,
Look it up.
I agree.
Look it up though, because it's crazy. Like that's the whole point of like the world is ending and blah blah blah.
So I've thought about
It's not
that.
like the U.S. divided, it's the world divided, because there's a U.S.,
That's
there's a
just
Russia, and
funny.
there's a
No, I know, but
Yeah,
look up the statue in the Bible.
Dude,
I'll send you some
that's
stuff.
interesting. I'm gonna have to look that up,
Yeah.
because I think about this often, and like Revelations and stuff like this and the second coming. And I don't know much about this, man. I can't quote anything out the Bible unless I've heard it from Angel or we said it at our event. But I'm like, every generation I would have to imagine would have thought like this was like the end of times, like COVID, end of times, right? The world wars, end of times. Like, so I'm like, how do we decipher and know?
But you don't though. Why would you want to decipher?
No, 100%. Well, dude, it's like one of the most.
That's what I'm saying. Imagine the Cold War. Like I cannot like I always think of anxiety and stuff, and then I go back to Cold War. I would have not wanted to.
Yeah, during the recession alone, 2008, people were like, "This is it, we're done."
No, I know, but like that's like your economy, right? Like Cold War is literally like every day right now. We're trying to have a podcast, right? And then all of a sudden alarms would go off, and you'd be like.
Yeah, dude, like my
alarms would go off.
Yeah, like my grandparents would tell me, I have 92-year-old grandparents, and they said like we'd have like test drills in like second grade from Fort Worth, Texas, and like we'd have to hide under the desk, and like we had our little bug out bags that mom and dad made us and sent us off to school. And yeah, it's like weird shit like that, man. I agree with you, man. I don't think one country can stand alone. For sure. And I don't know the future. All I know is this country needs to do a damn good job going back to a comment made earlier, like less consumption and building more leaders.
Yeah.
And because those leaders
producing less shit. Right?
And producing less shit. Yeah. Like well, dude, I don't think production
produce much. We just consume a shit ton.
I don't know if production rates across the world will ever stop. That does scare me.
Yeah.
And especially
that's when it's like debasing the substrate, right? We produce more, and then it doesn't cycle back into.
But is that?
I feel technology is gonna allow us to fix
But
that.
my question is that an economic thing, or is that actually like a personal thing?
Human nature.
A human nature thing, right?
We create economics.
Yeah, we create economics based on beliefs, and beliefs are like based upon what the hell we're teaching the next generation, which goes to me like,
what's the belief of I need more?
Dude,
I need to extract
most
more.
people feel they need
the want of more is a disease.
Yeah.
Like what you said a quote about
one
this
of the
earlier.
7 deadly sins.
I bet that's
gluttony.
Yeah, you said something like, I don't know, less is more. It was better.
I don't know. That's why I don't worry about the end of times. But because if I'm really gonna follow the Bible to T, or if I'm really gonna be that, then there's no I can't know, and I will know, and it's one of those mysteries of life when he will come for
but check it out, because I don't believe I agree with you almost completely, but there's exceptions, right? Because it is a disease that you want more, right? And most of the people who want more, they die early. I don't know if you noticed that.
No.
Like Alexander the Great died at 32, 33 out of a random fever, just randomly, right?
Yeah.
Steve Jobs died at like 50.
Yeah.
Kobe died early, right? So like start looking. Muhammad Ali
I think
got Parkinson's. At 40 or something like that, right? Had to stop boxing. So anybody who's great ends up having something that like is really bad. Then there's Warren Buffett.
Yeah, who drinks Coca-Cola and eats McDonald's every day.
And he's still alive and he's super rich.
Yeah.
So I think that the disease is not wanting more. I think that it's wanting more fast.
So okay, agree. So
It's
Naval,
greed.
so dude, I think you'll love this Naval guy. He talks about this, and he talks about Warren Buffett. Why is he 90 years old? Has a shitty diet, has all this success though, because he believes in rest. And it goes back to what you were saying. Now he doesn't just do it on the 7th day. He probably does it on the 4th, 5th, and 6th day too.
Yeah. But it's the longevity and how long he was willing to wait.
Yeah.
But do you think he sits here and has these conversations? You know
But
what?
longevity is sustainable.
Exactly.
Nah,
No.
Exactly.
No.
That's the thing. Like longevity is sustainable, and sustainable is resilient, right? Because if you recycle, like you could live from like a 10-mile radius, right? Well, your food, if you know how to live sustainably, right? Because it goes back to the earth, it grows again, and it's a cycle. Like right now, we think linearly, which is if there's a line, there's an end.
transactional.
If there's a cycle, it keeps going, and you want to feed the next person, right? So like that's, it goes back to like brand is you want to give just as much as you receive and never have like a be out of balance of that.
Boom. There you go. You brought it back all the way to branding.
We didn't really even talk that much about.
I'll show you a 20 after this. Yeah.
Sustainable branding.
Yeah.
I think it's brought to you by. I just kidding.
But like it's all going towards sustainability in with our life, with our family, with our work life, balance. But like, with our food and everything. That's always obesity because we consume too much, right? Like
Yeah.
if we just took just what we needed, everyone would be in shape.
But needed is subjective, unfortunately.
Huh?
What you need is subjective. Some people would tell you that the lifestyle they have is needed versus wanted. Yeah. So.
Yeah, well, they lie to themselves.
Oh no, but it depends. It depends how you see it. You can say they lie to themselves, but yeah, that's just how they're programmed right now.
Yeah.
Most of us don't need everything we're wearing while we're driving.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, chill.
We don't need to
like it, all right? Like, chill.
I want
to
it.
talk about it. Yeah,
that's what I mean. If
no,
we
for
really
sure, though.
believed in this cycle, we would donate a lot of our money
Yeah.
to the ones that don't have it. But
you
how
think-
many of us
Do
donate?
you think you would be
don't?
happier if you did that?
No, that doesn't matter. I'm talking about if I truly believed in the cycle.
Yeah.
Because if I believe in the cycle, then my emotions don't matter in the cycle. I just know that I have my part in the game.
Yeah.
But most of us say we're sustainable, but we don't do anything for the person X to sustain it. Like, we don't really do it.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's just how we're programmed. That's what I'm saying. Like,
That's why we need to have more of these conversations.
100%. 100%.
This was
I don't even know what we talked about, but I loved it.
this was a marketing,
Try to come up with the
AI, branding conversation.
We're gonna let our production team come up
No,
with
I'm
the
gonna
title,
let
'cause I have
AI
no
come
clue.
up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey AI, what should this podcast be called?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well,
All right, well, thanks for being on the podcast. Appreciate
Killed it,
y'all.
man.
yeah.
And we'll link all of your stuff on the show notes. So, but thanks for joining us for this 1.5 hour podcast on a lot of topics.
Yeah.
Yeah.